Welcome to Tidbit Talkin. Have some ideas about a fictional thing, each one featuring different levels of seriousness. Spoilers, here we go. Being rather close to Cadillacs and the currently sealed Juno must have been what jammed their communications in this relatively not-so-deep ruin. That is, the crap locking up said fellow is inadvertently also messing with his better bluer bot bro's bits a little as well. Refractors must simply be the final form of those power cores originally used in the CL system. Rule isn't just a tech genius. Her perfect maps and scanner also rely on pulling out info buried deep within Rock's original trigger persona. Although she almost definitely isn't aware of this at all. Plus Data, the all-knowing cyber monkey, is likely who's actually actively hauling all that stuff out for her. Obviously, metallic prosthetics like Sir Sly Sr.'s single skull side are still compatible for the totally organic appearing carbons because it need to be known when a non-medical repair professional tended to wound damage. Generally, only certified physician roboticists, mechanic surgeons are capable of adding the 100% natural-looking parts. Secret stashing Smiley Simeon feels the urge to introduce himself because he still detects his best bud as having memory loss on account of him no longer completely exhibiting the previously mentioned former personality. He'd already know how to get to the city because things like map code is much harder to wipe, plus that maniacal purple-haired dude's down there. Basically, it's all about hidden knowledge reflexively re-emerging when needed, kinda hoopla. This shopping arcade's access doesn't require an ID, so stimulation of the island's economy can happen whenever folks briefly gotta stop by for fuel or what have you. They asked the nutty bolted professor to go and get registration stuff alone because he's the most likely one to be seriously injured and thus need their hospital services. Miss Swinky Hat is happily staying back just to watch over everybody's ship home that she typically repairs. Oh, and the police don't bring up the severe bodily harm possibility as not to cause too much worry. Also, they might be concerned about some sort of legal action if there is harm done and don't want to plant this kind of seed super early. On that note, this is a no parking zone because the local government doesn't want to be held responsible for damages sucky pilot drivers received after running into those ruined walls surrounding everything. The whole deal with this guy not really answering why it's called Apple Market is actually him intending to sneak away while folks look up at those banners. He doesn't really know the aforementioned thing's origins. Conducting crystals located in wall cracks were originally powering the LEDs in there and things like heating/cooling and various security features. Other stuff being shoved up those crevices are caused by explorers who can't carry enough loot, hiding it until they can come back with more bags or whatever. Destroyable old barriers are just ones that have been out of power for a long time. The in-game Mega Man Legends is just a historical fiction version of the ZX series. This Mega thinks it looks interesting because he knows how much Roll loves it. Hippopotamus is what Volnut would suggest his red-clad, wrench-loving companion named him whenever he got in a dumb argument with her as children. He can't equip nearly as many special abilities as older heroes did because the system which converts weapon energy into physical ammo is too complex to allow for size-efficient malarkey. They don't notice him sneaking from the box-having side at first because they assumed he was looking in there for those ship parts they overheard him needing. The Servbot saw him talking to those kids who were really following Tron around all day and informed her he was just part of that group. Hence her mistake here. Sunny small soldiers run away if some tanks are left after the keys retreat because of that stuff lovely leader lady taught them about preserving resources. The Bonds must have found old charging tech on their myriad raids. Miss Casket must have made this new walkie-talkie because she got overly worried about their regular comms going out again like in the ruins at the beginning. The semi-pendulum doodads were likely equipped with scanners and turrets in days long past. Roll's recklessness results from Data frantically running throughout the van during this mission. Given the ice blocks down here, and those wall vines too, chances are this place used to be some kind of cryogenic facility for storing vegetation. Plus the lower security on top of that, what with nothing guarding that huge refractor. The purpose of a digger's license, and on this specific island a local ID getting made, is to keep track of people to make sure nobody raids ruins and then goes on traceable annihilation sprees with what they salvage from their trips. The Beast Hunter segment of Dangerous Games is likely a recent addition that was inspired by the reporter witnessing a certain gadget-loving criminal gal running away from a dog earlier. There are probably lots of Z-Sabers lying about. What between Zero's original, his X61, various X8 blades, the self-titled series iteration. Basis for a dude that looked like Albert Wiley was likely prominent in Earth population rendering data pile because the Master felt sorry for said fellow's wasted potential and lost friendship with light. Perhaps even a regretful post-virus cleansing AI ghost Al influenced things in some ways for this to happen. The last wielded contraption isn't a weapon. It's the naval thingamajig's power core engine deal expelling energy in defense, hence it being the only thing that lowers their health bar when damaged. Given its tremendous size and everything, a certain giant reaverbot guarding that refractor must have also occasionally been dispatched to protect the subgate from massive ocean creatures like rowdy squids or whatever. The bomb schematic was hidden because Gramps over here is a little scared of Roll developing a weapon that's too powerful and destroying half of her own face. He's probably worried a bit about Vega too. That first humongous battle contraption disturbing the terrain in this area may have forced his contained facility into some sort of emergency shutdown, thus causing initial entry electricity lagging to occur. Activation. Prototype. He doesn't actually have problems saying these words. That message display is just glitching out, and or he's unconsciously being reminded of his old purpose of having to possibly wipe out all the carbons. Those other subgates used to have activation units for the main one, but they deteriorated too much over time and or just became plain old inaccessible. The Flutter has relatively low health compared to that random boat from earlier because the opponents are simply much more heavily armed during this confrontation. Data thinks that this cactus is a good conversation partner because it's the oldest object on their ship. Even if it can't send coherent info back his way, yapping at the thing must make him feel like he's still in old world times. This holographic issue of Action Man must have been dropped by a patrolling officer here to reward them for warning people about the Bond family earlier. Tron built Big Baddie Bot Bruno near the mini main gate exit because there was extra power available from the sub-cities nearby Whatsit. Also, there are 2 entrance deals here because the above-ground old place was in fact originally just like that other connected bit. That thing where Mega's body gets darker or lighter depending on his deeds is a relic of the Purifier unit's warning system used to indicate whether he was there to protect or exterminate someone. What Juno refers to as polluting by the carbons is merely noticeably changing this world from the state his home's rulers left it in. Laughably lethal legendary last new kicking would stop that thing because regularly watching the Surbot's clumsy slapstick shenanigans has given her an eye for such nonsense. Masterful Monkey Machine doesn't intervene until after the battle ends because he needs footage of their fight as evidence for official decision implementing. Also, Little Buddy might have been kinda scared that guy would permanently shut him up with violence if he tried anything too soon. This reporter was being paid to go and get ready to film the group's exit. Their underwater exploration craft isn't just made from the scraps of recent mechs, but also whatever they could find in the main gate, Old City, and every other area still sneak into ready. Endings are a pain, but all of you are fantastic. See ya.